What is going on, Knicks Nation, as the New York Knicks 9-game winning streak comes to a close as they lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder by a final score of 117-107. Appreciate you guys joining me for another Knicks Nation post-game show on this Friday night, January 3rd. Man, a lot to unpack after that game. First and foremost, that was an elite basketball game, right? Elite basketball game. It stinks that the New York Knicks couldn't come out on top. OKC's on a back-to-back, second leg of a back-to-back. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are just that good. They're just that good. And the thing that's so frustrating about this game is the Knicks, they have an 8-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And in the start of the fourth quarter, bad turnovers. Just didn't look engaged. They looked great for 3 quarters, especially in that second quarter. They looked absolutely on a mission to show the world that they're not to be messed with. And look, the Knicks are still not to be messed with. But fourth quarter, start of that fourth quarter was not what you want. And look, the Knicks were gassed at the end of the fourth quarter. We'll go through it all. Once again, appreciate every single one of you joining me. I'm not going to soak over this one. I'm really not. This is now, first of all, this is now the 3rd straight season where the Knicks 9-game winning streak gets capped off at 9 games. It's like we can't get to 10. Like, can we get to 10? Man. The Thunder, man, that's what elite depth looks like, man. Aaron Wiggins killed us in the fourth quarter. 3 after 3, dagger. Hit an and 1 dagger. A lot to unpack after this one. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Let's get to the comments, and then, we'll go through it all. Karl Anthony Towns, I thought, only 13 shots tonight. Didn't like that. But, man, Dame, what's going on? We got to own this L. We let go of the rope. Dame, we let go of the rope in the fourth quarter. We did. Knicks were playing incredible for 3, pretty much all game into that fourth quarter. And then fourth quarter started, like you said, man, they let go of the rope. And Brunson with a poor shooting night. And the thing that's so frustrating is Wingstop showed up, man. The Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to start this basketball game were incredible. Anunoby and Mikal Bridges were incredible. Obviously, we'll talk about Anunoby and his elbow situation, but look, 107-117. You go to look at this box score, ladies and gentlemen. All 5 New York Knicks starters played above 40 minutes. The Knicks do not have a bench right now. Deuce McBride is out. He's been dealing with an injury bug, hamstring, then knee, then hamstring, excuse me. And the Knicks don't have a bench right now. Campaign was terrible tonight. Shamet, I thought he was pretty good defensively, just wasn't aggressive offensively. Presses Achua, not one of his best games. The Knicks bench 5 points from this Knicks bench tonight. And all 5 starters played above 40 minutes. And it took a toll at the end of the game. It did. They looked gassed. They looked like they had dead legs. And Brunson was missing majority of this game. 0-5 from 3, 9-23 from the field. And I take a look at Anunoby and Bridges. They were dominating to start this game, and the Knicks kind of went away from it, right? Which is kind of frustrating because those 2 players were really dominating OKC's wings. And when you start a game with such great defense from them, elite offense from them, they were balling out to start this game. And when you have elite wings like that, the Knicks are going to be tough to beat, and they are tough to beat. But it just kind of flamed out. Like they just deviated from a lot of stuff in this game, which is the frustrating part. Because you weren't even beat by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Hartenstein had a big offensive rebound at the end of the game that, we all know him to do. But the guy who really beat you was Aaron Wiggins off their bench. 19 points, close out the game, 4-6 from 3, 7-9 from the field. That was the guy. That was the dagger. If it wasn't for his performance, obviously other circumstances would have happened, but that was the guy. Oklahoma City's bench showed up tonight. Knicks, not much. Tony says, what's going on? I'm going to take this loss. I'm going to say we aren't going to win with the 5 guys, with just 5 guys in tonight. That's what happened. Bench 5 points, yeah. Calm Night, what's going on, Tony? Appreciate you in here. Calm Night says bench blew a 14-point lead. Ridiculous. Vibe says we need bench help. What's going on, Vibes? Loud and clear, gassed out. Loud and clear says in the chat. Oh, man. 3-point shooting in every start over 40 minutes is how we lost this game. JB, turnovers too many. Deuce and Mitch need to get back ASAP. OKC. Look, I will take 7 games of OKC and the New York Knicks. This game was incredible, guys. This game was absolutely theater. And it stinks that we were on the losing end. But what this Knicks team showed me is that, look, they're built to beat good teams. They are. I know their bench played poorly tonight all season. Their bench has been not just pretty much bad, right? If you want to be blunt. But the thing that was kind of frustrating is this game was physical, right? And the Knicks the Knicks are built for physical games. The Knicks take the physicality. I thought tonight was a poorly officiated game. But this game was physical. OKC, number 1 defense in the league, and they clamped up in the fourth quarter. They were being the physical team, daring the referees to call fouls. And in a high stakes game like tonight, where pretty much the whole entire NBA world, I'm pretty sure, was watching this game because that's how damn good this game was. OKC held the Knicks to 19 fourth quarter points, and the Knicks gave up 37 fourth quarter points to Oklahoma City Thunder. That's uncanny because this Knicks team has been good defensively in the fourth. They've been, top 10 in fourth quarter defense. So that's kind of like uncharacteristic for them. But this was an elite heavyweight matchup between 2 heavyweights in each conference. And the Thunder, they ain't no joke, man. They're not to be played with. They're not to be played with. Back-to-back game, they got contributions from their bench. We didn't. When you look at this box score and you see all 5 starters give you 40 minutes apiece, and you don't get anything from Payne, you really don't get anything from Precious tonight. Shamet, I thought was good defensively, but he didn't hit a 3. No 3s from the bench. Another night shooting the 3 poorly, by the way. So the Knicks starting to regress here in terms of their 3-point shooting. The bench is an issue. The bench is an issue, guys. It is. And obviously Deuce is out, so obviously it makes it more of an issue. But if Thibs is not going to go 9-man with Deuce out and give someone else, maybe like someone else a spark, he's not going to do that, right? And the Knicks have started to miss their free throws. 12 of 17 from the free throw line. It's not what you want. It's not what you want. Calm Night says this is the worst than the Pistons loss. Calm Night, I don't. The thing about this game was frustrating game, man. And I go back to Karl Anthony Towns, right? Karl Anthony Towns in this game. I keep flipping through the box score, excuse me. 17 points, 22 boards, 7 and 13 from the field. No 3-point attempts. 13 field goal attempts from Karl Anthony Towns. 13 when he was pretty much dominating the Thunder in the paint. He was dominating. And for him not to attempt a 3, now I know he's been, only attempting 5 per game this season. But 13 field goal attempts from Karl Anthony Towns tonight. I just felt like the Knicks kind of went away from what was working. And Brunson had an off shooting night, 9 of 23. And Anunoby, when he fell on that elbow, which is something that is a concern because obviously the elbow is hurting him, obviously. And he was 3 of 7 from 3. But I just thought when you have Karl Anthony Towns, who was pretty much dominating the Thunder, and they had really no answer for him. Only attempt 13 shots and no threes. And once again, only go to the free throw line 4 times. When literally he should have been there at least 10 tonight. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I know they're going to look at the box score, and Tom Thibodeau's going to speak to the media and answer to that. But Towns, I thought, should have got more involved tonight. And I thought, he was playing so well. I mean, in the first half, Towns had 8 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 13 boards in the first half. And another 20 rebound game from Cat. I just thought the Knicks could have got him more involved. Towns didn't get the points y'all needed. What's going on, John? Mitch, Deuce, and Shamit without Chet, John says in the chat. JB and Towns didn't give us enough. Towns had 22 rebounds but wasn't in rhythm tonight. I thought Brunson definitely just didn't do enough. Yeah, the timely shots from JB just weren't there tonight at all. And like I said earlier, when teams are normally physical with the Knicks, they normally respond. Josh Hart got hit with a tech in the first half. Frustrating game, back and forth. But, hey, in a playoff series, it gears you for the playoffs, man. It's going to be that physical. And the Thunder, they're built to win an NBA championship. And this was a great litmus test, right? We came into this matchup circling the Thunder, 10-game winning streak on the horizon. And for 3 quarters, this thing looked good, right? And even in the third quarter, they gave up 26 points. Knicks only scored 22. Fourth quarter was just bad, man. Bad all around. Bad all around, man. Missed free throws is a result of fatigue. Loud and clear says. TA says offensive rebounds. Ortiz, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. That's exactly what I said. The bench, the starters need help, and they need it now. Vibe says nothing from the bench. Forget the bench. We have to stop shooting threes. They should have definitely forced feed Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, 5 points from your bench is not going to cut it. It's not. And look, this next starting 5 is elite, and I know they can they've been gauging through a bad bench all season long. But the free throw shooting has regressed. 12 of 17 from the line. In close matchups like tonight, you need every point. And the 3-point shooting has just... Look, I think, again, they started this game 1 of 8 from 3. They started this basketball game 1 of 8. And then Anunoby and Bridges got going. Once again, I keep wanting to shine some light on them. I thought they were dominant. Anunoby and Bridges. To start this game, Mikal Bridges, the Knicks were force feeding him on the post. They couldn't guard him. And then again, I know the game's all about adjustments, right? It's all about adjustments. And the Thunder, there's a reason why they're number 1 in the West. They adjusted mid-game. And the Knicks just couldn't adjust back. They couldn't, find their rhythm in the fourth, especially. And like I said, I am not going to soak over this game. A lot to work on. It stinks that, you couldn't close it out. The bench is a concern. Thunder were on a back-to-back too, which you kind of came into tonight like, okay, if there's any night we can catch the Thunder, who were without Caruso, by the way. I know we were without Deuce, but elite teams have elite depth. Elite teams have elite depth. And the Thunder, I'm not saying the Knicks aren't elite. I think they are elite. But in order for the Knicks to kind of show the NBA world that they are a legit championship contender, everyone is just going to keep on talking about their bench. They have no bench. And God forbid someone was to go down in the starting five. God forbid something was to happen, right? And we had an Anunoby scare tonight. Who is going to step up for the Knicks and be that guy? Kolek, fan favorite, love him. Sims is in the doghouse right now, not playing. McBride can't really stay healthy this year. It sucks. Truly. I thought McBride was going to compete for sixth man of the year. Like Peyton Pritchard in Boston. 15 points a game off that bench consistently. Just hasn't been consistent. Right? And if Tom Thibodeau, like we all know him to do, is just going to stick with his 8 men when McBride is out and not give us something else, right? Maybe throw in, I know it was a physical game, so, he has like PTSD, right? I mean, you knew Payne, first of all, Cam Payne, I'm not just going to blame this on, the lack of, Payne tonight was bad. Wasn't aggressive. I thought, the threes that sort of give our team a boost when Payne comes in the game and he hits, 1 or 2 big threes for this Knicks team. Tonight, he just looked checked out. Like I don't know what the heck was going on with him. 2 fouls, plus minus 7, no 3-point attempts, all 1 from the field. Looked terrible. Precious hit the side of the backboard when attempting a 3. So, yeah, man, it's a concern. It is. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat it. I know it's a concern, but the beauty of this Knicks team is that their starting 5 hasn't been so dominant that they've been masking the poor bench play. And tonight, for 3 quarters, 2.5, I really thought this Knicks team was going to pull out a win despite all of that. And if they did, it would have been incredible, by the way. But they just didn't have the legs and the energy to close the game. All 5 of your starters played over 40 minutes. So, yes, TA, what's going on? Wiggins killed him. Absolutely killed him with back-breaking threes. Killed him. Aaron Wiggins. I mean, just tip your hat to him. I mean, 4-6 from 3, 7-9 from the field, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. The Thunder on a back-to-back, they went 10 deep. 10 deep. They're deep, man. Every player that they throw out there, Jalen Williams off the bench, baller. Isaiah Joe off the bench, baller. Aaron Wiggins off the bench. AJ Mitchell off the bench. Williams off the bench. These guys contribute, right? And in a back-to-back for them, they needed that. I thought the Knicks had him in check he had a good first half. And when OG Anunoby was guarding Shea, he had him in jail. Knicks staggered Bridges, Anunoby. Bridges had a nice block against Shea tonight. Anunoby with some good defense against Shea, 12 of 26. You take that, man. Any day of the week, you take that. But I go back to the Aaron Wiggins 3, back-breaking 3 in the fourth quarter, and the Isaiah Hartenstein offensive rebound over Josh Hart in that fourth quarter that just demoralized this team. Killed him. Let's get to some highlights. This was the Mikal Bridges guarding Shea. Caught him with the block in the first half, and this was but this is why I think he goes through these slumps shooting, because his elbow is bothering him. And he seems like he's going to play through it. And he seems like that, you know, he doesn't have an issue playing through it. I'm trying to go to the he had a conversation with all right, this is with Campaign on the bench. Campaign asked him about his ribs, and then he said, "No, I hit my elbow." And then Anunoby's flexing his elbow on the bench, and it's something that he's been working through for pretty much 2 seasons now, and it's frustrating, right? Because you kind of figured going into the summer this wouldn't be an issue anymore. But I think he said he has bone spurs in his elbow, which is never something you want to. Bone spurs are painful. Extremely, extremely painful. So I just hope Anunoby can get the elbow right, and he's playing through it. So, but I'm just happy he got back up from that fall. And Knicks have a back-to-back tomorrow, right? Yeah, at Chicago. At Chicago. Ortiz says, I'm not even mad at the fact we lost. We fought hard, but because of the lack of bench depth, our starters get tired by the fourth quarter, and that's our problem. Ortiz, look, I can't argue with you, right? But the thing I can retort to that is OKC was coming off a back-to-back, but hey, they got contributions from their bench, and that matters. That for sure matters. I mean, when you get, I mean, it is like crazy to think about, but fast break points. The pace too in this game was quickened, and OKC was, pushing the pace to start this game. You could tell they had a game plan. But when you go to the Thunder's bench, man, and they get what they have, over 35 points from their bench, right? And you get 5. That's the game. That's the ball game. It's demoralizing, right? You're asking your starters to do a lot here, and the bench isn't providing you anything. Nothing. Nada. And with Deuce's injury, does Thibs go to Kolek? Tomorrow, I think he has to expand the rotation to 9. I don't think you could play these guys 40-plus minutes in back-to-back games. I think he would have to play Kolek tomorrow. But, look, guys, I've been sounding like a broken record. The thing is, we had this game, right? But you take it on the chin. You let go of the rope, like Dame said in the chat earlier. You let go of the rope. You let the Thunder feed off their crowd, get the crowd in the game, because majority of this game, the crowd wasn't in the game. The Knicks were out hustling them, out rebounding them, just an elite. First of all, the second quarter that the Knicks put up tonight was their best second quarter of the season. And they've had some great quarters this season. There was a Denver quarter. The second quarter tonight was the Knicks' best quarter of the season. They had 36 points and only allowed 21 points to the Thunder. But at the end of the first half, Knicks gave up, what was it? I think they fouled him at the end of the first half. And then at the end of the third quarter, I believe, Knicks gave up an easy basket. And that kind of is like, those are little momentum shifts, right? Those plays matter. And the closeouts to the quarter were in those 2 quarters were poor, and it is what it is, man. I mean, it is frustrating. It is, because we had this one. Mike says, what's going on, Mike? Appreciate you in here. Always supporting the Knicks Nation post game. Just chopping it up. Knicks 9-game winning streak is over. Back-to-back-to-back seasons of 9 games capped. We cannot get over the hump and get to 10 games. Frustrating, especially this one, man. Hell of an atmosphere. I will take 7 games of Knicks Thunder. We'll see them again next week in MSG, which should be a fun one. Revenge will be on the docket. And, this Knicks team is telling themselves in the locker room right now, look, we gave this game away. We had this game. We gave it away. And you know that's what they're telling themselves in the locker room. But Thibs is even more of a concern because he doesn't play what we have. Other teams play what they have. And tonight, Thunder went 10-11 deep. And look at the production. Mike, I agree. Look, we know Tom Thibodeau, especially in the second half, gets like PTSD, man. Can't control it. There was a possession in the fourth quarter where Payne was terrible, and you knew. Out the timeout break, you knew Brunson was coming back in the game. You just knew it. And I want to see him go to Kolek. If you have no Deuce, replace Deuce with somebody. Don't just not play a body because you're out, because Deuce McBride is out. And I don't want to be that guy, but if Deuce McBride is out, you have to replace him with somebody. I know tonight he wanted this game badly. I know Thibs wanted this game extremely bad, which is why all 5 starters played 40-plus minutes. But that just can't happen, man. It's not sustainable. It's not, man. It's not. And I know a lot of people are going to say, who do you want him to play? Who do you want him to play? Daddy-A's not with the team. He played in Westchester. Kolek in the limited minutes looks great. Looks good. Moves the ball. Baller. He's built for these moments too. He has that it factor in him. I think he's going to be a great player in this league. And look, Thibs just is deciding. When campaign isn't giving you anything, Thibs is not going to deviate from his plan. And he's been showing you that his entire tenure. And that's the frustrating part about Thibs, is when he trusts who he trusts, right? He trusts who he trusts. And it just doesn't need to, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It is, guys. It's frustrating. Who is Wiggins? The coach is trusting them to play. What is so wrong with playing the youth? I just don't get it. Rookies and third stringers killing us every night. I'm sick of this. Mike, I agree. Look, Mike, voice your frustrations. I love you guys voicing your frustrations in the chat. This was a battle. This was one of those games where, typically this season in this 9-game winning streak, the Knicks have pulled out, close games and close wins. But in the final 2-3 minutes, the Knicks just didn't have it, offensively and defensively. OKC were going to pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll in the fourth quarter with Shea, and the Knicks just forgot how to defend it all of a sudden. And they were just getting easy basket, kicking it out to freaking Wiggins, who was hitting everything. And look, Thunder shot 51% from 3 tonight, man. 51% from 3. That's remarkable. 51% from the field, 51% from 3, 81% from the line. And you lost this game pretty much defensively down the stretch and right here. 9-32 from 3, 28%. And the Knicks had 6 more shots than the Thunder. They shot poor. They shot poorly. 28% is not going to... I know the Knicks have been winning despite their poor shooting, but against an elite team like this, against the Thunder, you need to be above 35% from 3. You need to hit your shots. You do. And once again, going back to Cat, no 3-point attempts, only 13 field goals, 17 points, was dominating them. I thought it was on the coaching staff to get Cat the ball more and to get Cat more involved. Get him a wide open 3. Get him on the post more. 13 shots from Cat is just unacceptable, honestly. I didn't like that at all. Brunson's off night. He shouldn't be taking 10 more shots than Cat when Cat was just, they had no answer for him, honestly. They didn't. So EK says Thibs is not playing the bench. Kevin says poor starts of each quarter was their biggest issue. That and they didn't push to feed the hot hands at the end of the game. Kevin, what's going on, man? I appreciate you. 45-5 bench points unknown in the chat. 44, excuse me. We have to play the rookies tomorrow night. You cough up a 14-point lead, you will lose. 14-point lead in today's NBA is nothing. Absolutely nothing. There was no point in this game where I was confident at all. And I mean, when the fourth quarter started, when the fourth quarter started, I was fairly confident. But then the Knicks had just unfocused 4 turnovers. What is it? 3 or 4 turnovers in a row? And you're sitting there like, what's going on? I mean, that's just uncanny, uncharacteristic stuff from this Knicks group to start that fourth. And that was the ball game. When those turnovers hit, you got the Thunder back in the game. Williams hit a big dunk. Knicks called timeout. They couldn't buy a bucket. And when you don't feature Cat, that's what happens. Did OG shoot even one attempt after that fall? Got to catch up on these comments. Appreciate every single one of you guys. There's 96 people in the chat. Smash the like button. 12 likes. Let's get those likes up. Appreciate every single one of you joining me here on this Friday evening. Look, this game, elite basketball game. I believe Anunoby attempted a shot after his elbow. I know he splashed a free throw after that, but the elbow injury has carried over, right, to this year. And to me, it's something to watch, but it's like this was the fall that Anunoby hurt his elbow on. Bad fall. Elbow from early on in the season, and it's something that he's going to just have to play through. And look, he was the thing about that, right? Before that point, Bridges and Anunoby were unstoppable, playing well, and like I said, and like you guys said in the chat, Knicks went away from it. They did. Bridges to start this game was incredible. Anunoby to start this game was dominant. Cat with the rebounding. Josh Hart was hitting his open threes and I thought played incredible. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists from Hart. They're leaving Josh Hart open, and Josh Hart is making teams pay. 2 of 7 from 3 tonight. But your star player, JB, just had a bad night. 22-9. I know me saying that's a bad night is kind of like, whoa, bad night, 22-9. But for what we know, Jalen Brunson 2B, 9-23, 0-5 from 3, missing 2 free throws. That's not a JB night. That's not a JB night. And he'll be the first person to tell you that, right? He'll be the first person to tell you that and own it. Just inefficient, didn't hit a 3, and missed 2 free throws. And love the 9 assists, but it's just the 3-point shooting, which is a valid concern right now, and the bench. Kolek moves the ball. Yes, he does, man. I love Kolek. Thibs needs to get out of his comfort zone and expand the rotations. Anthony in the chat. What's going on, Anthony? This wasn't a worse loss. When Mitch is back, Cat more on offense will be much better. Just catching up on these comments. We were fatigued in the fourth quarter. Ton of open threes we gave up. Loud and clear. Again, I'm not worried. We lost when OKC was on a back-to-back. Yeah, all valid points, right? Anthony said they clogged the paint. All valid points. Thibs needs to trust his subs, which he doesn't. One thing is clear. We are, 35 games in? 35 games in, 24-11, you're still in a good place, right? 13-7, on the road. 9-game winning streak comes to an end. Still in a good place. But tonight, it was right there. It was right there. Right there for the taking. 10 in a row, man. You staring at it. 10 in a row. The whole world watching this game. Easy schedule this, easy schedule that. The game was right there for the taking for the New York Knicks. And this would have been a massive win, but it's the NBA, man. On any given night, it happens. And the Thunder showed you why they're elite. Their elite depth won them the game. Their coach trusts the guys at the end of the bench. Their coach trusts the guys at the end of the bench. Their two-star players, Shea played 37 minutes. Jalen Williams played 38 minutes. And their coach is trusting their bench, right? And they all contributed, man, in the limited minutes. And as easy as it sounds, that's pretty much the reason why they won this game. Fresher legs in the fourth quarter. And especially when freaking Aaron Wiggins couldn't miss. I mean, Aaron Wiggins, good young player, 8 points a game. What is he shooting from three this year? Please don't let it be a bad number. He's shooting 37% from three this year. Wow. Okay. Good young player, man. Their coach trusts their bench. And they got guys coming in to step up. They were on a back-to-back. You weren't. They were on the back-to-back. You weren't. And, you know, that's what elite depth does to you. But this Knicks team just couldn't overcome the bad start to the fourth, the turnovers to start the fourth, and the Aaron Wiggins back-breaking threes. But this was an important game, man. This was one of those games where you looked at, you know, down the line and you said, okay, Knicks, OKC, the Knicks are rolling right now. You want to see how the Knicks match up to the best of the best. You want to see how the Knicks can match up with the Oklahoma City Thunder, with the Celtics, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And for 3/4 of this game, Knicks were there. They were dominant in the game, right? And then it just didn't go our way. Sucks. It's frustrating. 4 out of our 5 starters are logging the most minutes in the league, and this is a first of a back-to-back. I agree. Look, I totally agree with you guys. Tyler Kolek, it's time for this kid to run the second unit. It can't hurt. SGA can score at will. SGA gets more goals than LeBron in his prime. Yeah. That was another thing, right? The referees in this game, what was it, Ben Taylor? He wanted the limelight, and this was a physical heavyweight match. Knicks shot 17 free throws. Thunder shot 21. Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't get the disconnect. Like, I really don't get the disconnect. It seems like he never gets calls. I don't know. This is like me kind of complaining right now. But right, it just seems like he doesn't get the calls that he should. And it's frustrating. It is. You could tell it frustrates him because he doesn't get the calls that he should on the offensive end. But the defensive end, he gets called for the little ticky-tack fouls, which I'm sure is bugging him out. So, but yeah, man. Free throw battle wasn't that much of a disparity, 21 to 17. But the turnovers, Knicks had, how many turnovers as a team did this Knicks team have? Because I know they had like 3 or 4 to start the fourth quarter, and that was only 12 turnovers to 13 turnovers for the Thunder. But the 12 turnovers for the Knicks, I think four of them were in the fourth quarter. When it matters the most, winning time, crunch time, you cannot turn the ball over. You cannot give this team any life. You cannot give them life. And going into the fourth quarter, you feeling good about yourself. All you needed was a bucket to kind of settle things down. And you just couldn't run a play to start the fourth quarter. And after that, it just was downhill from there. Once you gave the Thunder any sign of life? Because honestly, for the majority of the game, you were in control. Once the Thunder were taking advantage of those turnovers, running in transition, picking up the pace, the Knicks never recovered. Right? Never recovered. 23 fast break points to the Knicks 10. So, Mike says, what can we expect if this is what the standard is for a game of this amplitude? We blew this game. OKC are playing kids. Kids. What is it going to take? Mike, frustrated in the chat. Love the frustration. Mike, I get it. I do not like the way Tom Thibodeau is coaching his bench right now. I don't. And I'll say it right into the camera. I don't like the way he's coaching his bench. But when Campaign is in the game and Precious is in the game, they are not doing anything. Tom Thibodeau is not going to go to Toppin, Matt Ryan. But the guy I wanted him to go to was Tyler Kolek. You got to trust your bench, man. You do. It's January 3rd. And especially after watching OG Anunoby take that fall, it kind of put things back in like perspective, right? It's like this Knicks team has been fairly healthy for the majority of the season. Brunson has missed 1 game. Cat has missed, I think, 2 games. Bridges hasn't missed a game. OG Anunoby hasn't missed a game. Josh Hart, I think, has missed 1 or 2 games. They've been healthy for the majority part of the season. And that is why this Knicks team has built such great chemistry to start this season. The camaraderie is there, and because they're playing so much. But when Deuce is in and out the lineup, Payne has been inconsistent. Deuce, even when he's in the lineup, has been like inconsistent. Really hasn't, been that force. Great game against the Wizards. Had a couple of, nice scoring outputs. But when you're not going to go to Kolek, which I think you should, then what are you doing? Honestly. Knock on wood. We don't want anyone to get hurt. But if somebody's going to go down, you got a game tomorrow, right? Who are you going to go to? Who are you going to call? Who's going to step up for this team? And look, I believe in Shamet. I do. Played him more than 11 minutes, 14 minutes for Shamet. I thought that should have been more. But Thibs trust. Honestly, Tom Thibodeau trusts 7 guys. His starting 5, Precious Achiuwa, and Deuce McBride. Those are the 7 guys he trusts. Campaign has been a good spark plug for this team this season. But his minutes have been decreasing. Right? It sucks to say that because he had such a great game against Utah with 8 points, 9 assists. But, just take a look at his minutes. Other than the game where he literally had to start because no Brunson and no Deuce. 8 minutes tonight, 7 minutes at Washington, 6 minutes at Washington, 7 minutes at Orlando, 5 minutes versus Spurs. When he got 15 minutes versus Toronto, that was his best game of the season. So his minutes have been decreasing. So Thibodeau, we know our coach, guys. We know our coach, but I just think it's time for him to go to Mr. Kolek, man, especially with no Deuce. I need to see Kolek in there. I do. And it's not just about the foul shots difference. It's the overturned fouls, how the Knicks can't touch them, but we get him beat up, and the refs take Cat out the game. Mike says 8-man rotation is not going to work in the playoffs, especially when teams playing 10 now. How do we manage that then? Mike, man, I love the frustration. One other point in this game, Thibodeau didn't use any of his challenges. And I thought there was a point in the fourth quarter where Thibs, there was a ball that deflected off of Brunson. They called it Knicks ball, and they switched it to OKC ball. There was a play with Hartenstein that, looked like it was up in the air. In that moment, at that moment, your starters are gassed. Your starters are tired. Just challenge something to give them a breather. Let them go to the monitor. Get your guys on the bench. Take a sip of water. Get regrouped, refreshed. Draw up a play. Even though you're going to lose the challenge something. Because your starters needed a break. They needed an extra timeout. They needed that. And I thought a couple of those plays in the fourth quarter with Tom Thibodeau, he really hasn't been challenging this year, and which is odd. But I think most of that has to do with the assistant coach that the Knicks lost to the San Antonio Spurs. King was really good with that last season. But I thought the Knicks needed some type of a breather in the fourth quarter. And Thibs just didn't challenge at one of those ticky-tack, plays that a breather there was needed. And just an observation. Tony says, I'm going to give you a question. Who off this bench with everyone healthy is going to be a consistent bucket? Because it is not Deuce McBride. Tony, coming into the season, you wanted it to be Deuce McBride. You did. Deuce McBride was that consistent bucket on this Knicks team off the bench, right? And the way Tom Thibodeau is staggering his bench with the starters, look, man, it's a problem, guys. It is. Like, I'm not. The thing is, it's a problem, but the Knicks are 24-11, right? Like, how much of a problem is it if the Knicks are 24-11? They're still the third seed. Obviously, we want to strive to be a championship team, and you face the Thunder. In order to beat them, you need depth. In order to beat the Celtics and the Cavs, you need depth. Boston is 9-10 deep. Cleveland is 9-10 deep. And one thing about those elite teams, those coaches are not afraid to use their bench. Mainly because they have players that are good to play off the bench. But my retort to all that is, if we're not really going to see Kolek on a consistent basis, Daddy on a consistent basis, how are we going to know? We're not. And the top of the top, the elite of the elite, the championship contending teams, all have depth. And in a 7-game series, it's going to be, I know the starters are going to play majority of the other games. I know. But what we've seen these last couple of years is what? Injuries have taken a toll on this Knicks team. They have. It's the reality of the situation. So why not get a head start now and see what you got off the bench? See what Kolek can bring you. Give Daddy 5 minutes off the bench. Just my observation. But right now the Knicks are third in the East, 24-11 on the season. Look, still in a great spot despite this loss. 3.5 ahead of Orlando. I think Orlando lost Suggs again. Man, the injury bug just keeps on. Orlando Magic, man, they have no luck. Kolek puts up 30-11. Like, come on. Kolek don't play defense. Cam better at defense. We need to develop, Gangstar in the chat, we need to develop the bench. We can afford to lose some games early in January in the regular season. Thibs only wants a challenge if he can firmly get it in our favor. Disrover, yeah, I agree. And it's a good strategy, Disrover. But I thought in a couple of those moments, it seemed like the Knicks needed like a breather and just put the green light on, challenge it, get you guys an extra sip of water, extra breath. And maybe that would have made a difference, but maybe not. But look, Knicks still in a good spot, man. This one was a tough blow. They got a back-to-back against Chicago Bulls. And look, Chicago's playing, they're not terrible, right? They're not terrible. And Derrick Rose retirement ceremony, right? Yeah, Derrick Rose retirement ceremony tomorrow in Chicago, so that should be pretty cool. But you got to win, right? Look, it's a tough emotional loss tonight. OKC to Chicago now. And then, after that game, get back on track, right? Get back on track, feeling good about yourself. You got OKC again coming up. You got Orlando after that. Get back on track. And then look at all these home games in January, right? And then you just home cooking, but you got to, give your bench some time in the month of January. You do. You do. So get back on track tomorrow. And then we got a bunch of these home games in January. We don't travel pretty much until February 4th, right? I've been talking about this schedule all season long. At Philly, that's a train ride. At Brooklyn. But it gets tougher, man, right? Easy schedule. You have the hardest schedule left in the NBA. OKC, L, right? At Chicago, don't lose that game. Because, you don't want to lose that game. Chicago's playing, what's Chicago's record? 15-19. It's going to be an emotional night. Derrick Rose retirement ceremony. They're going to want to get a win for D Rose. But I need the Knicks to win this game, and I think they will. I think they'll bounce back. If Thibs only going to play his bench at 10, 11 players only when we up 25 to 30 points, that's not going to build confidence and chemistry for your second unit, and that will cause you to lose games. The only thing I can say, and that has literally Landry Shamet was going to be in the rotation. What happened in the preseason? He got hurt. Now he's back. He's in the rotation. Mitchell Robinson is going to be in the rotation. He's hurt. He's not playing. He's still like a month away. Tom Thibodeau just cannot wait for these guys to come back and only play like 8 guys. You got to see who's out there on your bench. You got to give Kolek. I think Kolek, the thing about, it's not just me saying you got to give Kolek some time, because these guys, obviously they need to play to like earn minutes. But Kolek looks good, man. I mean, he could run an offense. Defense obviously is his, he's not great, right? But he could still run an offense like a 10-year vet, and he knows what he's doing on the court, and he could shoot. So we just have to see. But if Tom Thibodeau's waiting until Mitchell Robinson comes back to really unleash, to really, expand that rotation even more, this could be, I don't know about that. Man. I don't like that at all. Because the thing about Mitch is the unknown, right? We don't know when Mitch is coming back. We don't. There's an update like every week, and it seems like he's not practicing. We got some positive news that he's running. So hopefully that converts to him practicing soon, and he will help defensively. But bench is bad right now. It is. Bench is bad. John says, guys, are we really complaining about this playing his players 3 to 5 minutes more than OKC played SGA and Jay Williams? John, no. But look, Thunder were on a back-to-back. So, look, they've been expanding the rotation, but they needed to expand the rotation because they're on a back-to-back. But it's the 8 minutes, 9 minutes. That's what, like, those little spurts matter. Like 5 to 8 minutes, 5 to 9 minutes, those spurts from your bench, they matter. They do. But look, 37 minutes from Shea, 38 from Jalen Williams. And the thing that sucked about this game is you had this game, right? But It just seemed like the Knicks at the end of the game just lost their legs, and we regroup onto Chicago. 9 in a row. We the best. Oh, we lost the game. That season's over. We have no chance. John in the chat says, John. I know you're not talking to me, John. Because I opened up this post game saying, I'm not going to soak over this game. I'm still not worried. So I know you're not talking to me, John. The season is not over, John. The Knicks are still in a good spot, which I've been saying. Tonight was frustrating. Cat should have been more involved. The dominance of Bridges, the dominance of Anunoby. Hopefully Anunoby's okay. The lack of bench depth. Frustrating. So the beauty of the NBA is that we still have an opportunity tomorrow to regroup, and I think they will. I'm 99% sure OG Anunoby will not be playing tomorrow. When you lose you lose the vision that he had. Riddick, when you lose super player like Zero. Scott says blaming the refs in this game is wild. Scott, no one's blaming the refs. Come on, Scott, no one's blaming the refs. It's just, this game was physical. Really physical. Knicks lost this game when they decided to have 3 or 4 straight turnovers in the fourth quarter. That's when they lost this game. That's what gave the Thunder momentum, and that's pretty much all she wrote. But we'll close it with Mike. Mike says, what is going to come of this team with Thibs running it the way he is? We are too win hungry and underdeveloped in the youth department, and that will kill us in the long run. In the long run, still a good year. Penning. Yeah, Mike, still a great look. One game, right, guys? One game coming off a nine game winning streak, right? You wanted this game badly. You had this game in the bag, and then fourth quarter hit, and you pretty much hit a 180, and the bad habits just started to compile one another. But very sloppy at the end of this game. You need to get your best player more involved. Karl-Anthony Towns, 13 shots, didn't like that. It's just little things like that where, the Knicks can build off of. And look at the box score. And I'm sure they're looking at the box score right now on the bus home and saying to themselves, like, Cat 13 shots can't happen. Can't. Especially the way he was playing tonight. Just can't happen. And Payne wasn't aggressive at all. Just didn't look good. But game tomorrow at Chicago. Derrick Rose retirement ceremony. I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate every single one of you that joined me here. 9-game winning streak comes to a close. Wanted to get to 10. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the Discord. If you join the Discord, you can call into the show and we can banter back and forth. Or if you guys wanted to become a member, you can hop on the live stream with me and I can take your questions on the live stream, which is a pretty cool feature that, I have with, the post games. Is trying to implement more stuff for you guys, get you guys more involved because everyone has a voice. At the end of the day, we are all Knicks fans. So I want you guys to, voice your frustration, voice your opinions, and obviously give mine. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Got to win that one. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Have a great weekend. Peace.